Try and there we go. Bring the sand. That's just gonna. I don't know. It's like liquid. It's so thin. I mean, it's a lovely colour. I think it's gonna look great. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that there and hope that it separates a little bit, and in the meantime I can check on my wooden stones and try and get a bit of aquascape planning done. Problem number one, so wash the sand like this said, and it's liquidy, so to put this sand in the scape like I want to be able to work the sand like it's a powder, but it's now a clay. So I'm spreading butter instead of spreading sand, which gives me a bit less control. I don't really know how, I was just saying to Claudia, I don't really know how I can fix this.
You just need to put it like where you want it,
yeah,
and then fill up water like very, very gently.
And then eventually the water should,
Yeah,
it's true. And then I can leave it, I can fill it sort of a few inches, and then I can sort of figure it out. So next up is going to be the one to grow flame moss. So I'm just going to try and wedge it in gaps in the rock, on some of the wood, and if it feels precarious I might use a tiny bit of super glue, but otherwise I'm just going to see how we go. It is only lightly visible, but over time that will look really nice, I think. So wedged between the wood, a bit on the rock, a little bit on the rock on the right hand side for when I'm lying in bed. I can have a look at that grow, and then just a few touches on this tower. Also tried to super glue that tower in place because it's a bit questionable, but yeah, I think things are really starting to take form now to try not to murder it with plants, which will be interesting. One thing I did do, which I thought I'd show quickly, is this is how excited I was for this to arrive. So I've got all of the plants, the type, the difficulty, the temperature, the areas where I want to put them, notes on sort of things that I've learned or seen people talk about online. So all I'm going to do is one by one go through the plants, and it's quite a good idea really for a beginner, I'd say, because you know, I pick up a plant, Staraguni repens. I can't say it, I do actually know what plant this is, but most plants I wouldn't have a clue. So building that list is quite useful. Anyway, without further ado, let's do some planting, which is going to be interesting. First plant I'm going to try and put in is Hermianthus caltrioides. So let's just pop him out of there. So it's one of those plants that comes with a little sponge in the bottom. So what I'm going to do is cut it out of here, take all the sponge off, rinse under a tap, break it into small pieces, pop it into a tray, put that tray in front of me, pick pieces, put it in. So my notes on this one foreground. I wanted to start with my foreground plants, plant in small clumps 3 to 5 centimeters apart. Hard to grow, will require light exposure, substrate tablets, 2 to 3 centimeters tall. So I didn't have many hard plants, but I did get this one because I just love the little baby leaves. I think they look great. I don't think it's going to grow, but it was $2.99, so you know, it's worth a stab, because if that does start to grow, I think it's going to look really, really nice. But it has to be somewhere that's going to get a lot of light, so we'll see. I'm thinking the black soil around the edge, this is going to be a winner. I will actually, it's a carpet plant, so it will sort of spread along the ground, it won't grow up. And what I'm going to do is I've got another one that I'm going to mix in there and sort of dot around it, because if this doesn't grow strong, then at least I'll have a carpet. I'm not going to give this all of the space in my tank that could be used to carpet, because if I do and it doesn't grow, then I'm going to be looking at my tank and I'm going to be like, wow, it looks great, where's my carpet? And I do like carpets. If you've seen them, it's just, you know, as you'd expect, it's like a carpet, like a rug of really small plants. So without further ado, get the camera set up and I will begin work on this plant. Liliopis, so kind of like some sort of grassy sort of thing. Looks quite nice. Feel fresh. I'm gonna take out this box, give it a wash, separate it, get it in the tank. Okay, so just planted the Liliopis. I've put it down here in the right hand corner, a little bit under the archway on both sides. Hopefully that can really grow out nicely and cause that gives some depth. Right, next up is the Eleocharis, or dwarf hair grass, I think, as many people know it. Kind of see why it got its name. So it is just really tall, long grass. Wibble wobble, wibble wobble. So yeah, I'm going to go and add that in and charge the battery to my camera. Right. Next plant is the Anubias nana bonsai, and what this plant is it is basically, well, it's basically a bonsai plant. So very small, but it's the sort of thing that if you wedge it in a, how do I focus on it? Come on, wedge this in a gap in between the logs, it won't grow very high, but it will just look really nice. Add some sort of dark green colour to the tank. Alternatively showcase your bonsai nubius on a canvas of decorative rocks. Now I'm good. So yeah, gonna get in the tank. Okay, so it's going well so far. We have got the Herminthias calcitroides cuba, the Liliopis novae zelandii, and also the Eliocharis achilliocharis hairgrass. We've got those 3 in. I'll pick you up and have a look at what's going on so far. Down here on the left we've got the dwarf hairgrass, followed by these purling carpets around the edge. Also a bit inside. I've just tried to tuck them in the crevice. Next up we have the Cryptocorn Neville. Don't know why it makes me think of Neville Longbottom, but this is basically a crypt. So crypts are long, tall plants that, you know, wish in the wind a little bit, give your tank some depth normally in the background. I've got written plant in groups of 2 or 3 or behind rocks and wood. Plenty of space in my tank to do that. Lots of carpet plants at the moment dominating the scape. So if I can wedge this between some rocks at the back, I reckon we're going to be onto a winner. So I'm not going to do 2 or 3 because I feel like without CO2, once again, bringing up the big C word, without CO2 plants just, in my experience, don't grow amazingly. So, oh, whoops, dropped it on the floor. Wasn't me, Claudia. Yeah, if I keep them sort of 4 or 5 at least together, there's more chance of the roots binding and forming a stronger plant. In my head, not the voice of an expert, voice of someone making stuff up. You can come in. So that's the plan. Yeah, what? What's up? Just focused on your face. So yeah, this is the next one in, but I'm not showing you the tank right now, but yeah, I don't want to speak too soon, but I think it looks really good. This camera's wonky, I know, I should be like this. I think it looks really, really good. Like really, really, really good. And I don't want to speak too soon, but yeah, if I was to speak too soon, I would say something like, watching hours and hours of YouTube, like for 4 months straight, it's just taught me little things. You don't realise you're learning it. Maybe you're not. Maybe I was a natural aquascaper, I never knew. Anyway, I'll shut up before I put water in it and it all floats and then I have to start again. Let's hope it doesn't happen. Okay, so went through the equipment earlier, but just in case, heater and a filter, 50 quid. Not sure what we're getting here, but I think it's all filming me up close, failing on this. I haven't got any nails. I mean, nice one, good job. Anyway, so doing the big plants, and I wanted to make sure that I'd still have room for the filter once I'd done them.
Whoa,
so
that's pretty huge.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I don't think that's going to fit where we thought it was.
Why didn't you put the filter first?
Things Claudia says that always help. Right, let's have a look. This is going to be a problem.
Oh my goodness. Oh, it's so nice there.
I know, yeah.
Oh, it's so nice there.
I know. I've got to get that in. I mean,
Not ugly.
yeah, I know exactly. What do you mean? I mean, I could put it here. It fits there.
No, babe.
I know, yeah, I know. Right, so I mean, I'm gonna have to either remove this and put it there in that corner,
Oh no.
or
no,
move
no.
that whole thing.
Oh. Wait. Just try not fit it.
I can't. Yeah, no, but I can't even move this.
No, don't. Okay.
It needs to move by at least an inch. There is no way.
Let me just see. Let me
There is
hold
no
it.
way, Claudia.
Right, let me hold it.
Yeah, but there's no way.
Yeah, I just want to see how much room. Is it possible? It is very possible. Just move it slightly.
No, it's not.
Which is fine. There you go. There you
But
go.
look at what's going on. Yeah, alright then.
Don't you think?
Maybe.
Is there any button that could
Yeah,
affect?
it's got, right, take it out. Because Okay, so how to solve a problem like a filter that won't fit. Managed to. Looks pretty ghastly, but I think that's the same with any filter really that you get. So it's up there in the top left. I had to bring this little archway forward a tiny bit, but I don't think it's suffered. This right hand wood, I forgot the position it was in, this one here. So I need to jerk that around and figure out where it's going. So the next plant is pretty impressive. If there's one thing I do like in a tank, it's a little bit of red. And this is just that. Look at that. That looks amazing. So this is Altharenia reniclei Rosannaberg. Destroyed that name, I'm sure. It's a crypt, pretty easy to grow. Good light, fertilizer conditions, as well as CO2 may be important for colour development. Yeah, probably growing with CO2 this, and now I'm gonna take the CO2 away. That'd be interesting. Let's get it in the tank. Right, okay. On to the last plant, which is a Rotalia, and it's an orange one. And if you have a look at it, do you think it's a nice plant, Miyako?
Yes.
So it should grow orange, but
Yes.
once again, CO2 is important for that.
So it's got some of this thingy on it, so we don't want that on it. Okay.
Can you say, let's get it in the tank?
Let's get it in the tank.
There we go. Last plant. Tank is fully scaped. I will show you. But first, I'm going for a walk in a minute, and I reckon it's a good idea because there's no water in there. I've sprayed them with a spray, but I reckon I should get the light on them just to, because they've been in packaging, the plants, for like what must be 3-4 days now. There we go. She is pretty big, so I'm going to get this installed, and then we'll show you what we've done. Okay, so we made it. I've just been for a walk. I've just cleaned the glass. That's why there's drips on it. But this went way better than I expected. I still haven't added water, so there's plenty of time for this to go wrong. But if I see a fish swim through that archway, I think my life has peaked. Only problem now is we have to add water, and that is not something I'm looking forward to. So I'm going to put it on a tripod and see how we go, because I think this is going to turn into a 30-40 minute problem. But we'll see. I never know how these things work. I've got no idea. I'm going to do this end. Oh, that's better. Seem to be working. I'm going to go for a bit of a more risky strategy, which is going to take a very long time.
Daddy.
Yeah, I know. Please don't go near it. Please do not go near it.
That's cool. wish I could do that like Daddy.
Pardon?
I wish I could do that like Daddy.
You can do this. You can one day. You have a fish tank in your room when you're older. Right, are you listening to Mummy and being a good girl?
Yes.
You promise?
Yes.
No, she'll tell me if you're not.
Wow.
Not really.
Why?
Look. Right. Listen, let's help Mummy get you to sleep, okay? What time is it?
But Mummy had to read the story.
So we've run into difficulties already. The filling up device that we have is a really cheap one and doesn't work very well. I've poured water in by putting bags in, and as you can see, our sandy bank has completely just gone rogue. So I'm going to have to tidy it up with it at this level, replant some of the plants that popped out, and yeah, figure it out from there. It's not the end of the world. I think it's savable. So we're still filling up. It's going interestingly. It's taken forever. I'm knackered because I'm lifting a bucket and pouring it on top with all this. I've got this to spread out the splash so that it doesn't end up just taking all the plants out. We'll see how it goes. Okay guys, voila. It is 8:30. We've got takeaway curry. Oh, I'm just knackered. Need to learn, figure out a way to get water in and out, because I was filling it up with a bucket, which could have been catastrophic. We had a few plants float up, still a few up here, but I've replanted what I can, and I am really happy with it. I took a photo and I noticed this shape, the way it does that, and that's all different pieces of wood, and I didn't really know what I was doing when I was doing it. They just kind of felt like they sat in those positions when I put them down. I started with this big piece, and I'm just really happy, and it was so much fun. But the good news is it's not over yet, because there's still work to do. It's cloudy at the moment. This is going to look a lot better. So I have shots at the end of once it's all cleared. Then I've got some shrimp that we're going to get in there, and then we'll get some fish. We're thinking, well, I'm thinking of sparkling gourami. I've already got guppies, and I just want something a little different. So guppies are nice, but I want a fish that's a bit calmer, a bit quieter. So we're going to see how that goes. And I really want them to breed. That would be amazing. That would be great. So let's do a little, let's get a bit closer, let's have a look. Actually, I should probably do this. I'll go closer when it's all cleared up. But yeah, I'm really happy. There's loads of the sand was looking great earlier. It was all clear. I managed to get all of the little bits of soil out of it, and when I was pouring the water in, that just all went down the drain, and all of these bits ended up coming on. I've been scraping them off, and when I scrape them off, I'm removing the sand and then making visible the soil underneath. So it's just not really possible. I don't know where it all went. There was so much more sand. Maybe, I don't know. It's obviously in there. I think it's just moved around and spread into the stuff up here as well. So I need to tidy that up. But that was such a good birthday present, literally. Gotta treat yourself, eh? Gotta treat yourself. Even the plants, you wouldn't even need fish. You really wouldn't. Rotalia orange has been sacrificed, so that one floated up. So the Rotalia orange was the orange plant, or slightly orange, it's not bursting with orange, but if it grows really well, it can look great. And it's behind these logs at the back, and it should blossom up really tall and come through like a bush sort of round, just over there, and then really take a central part of the tank. But yeah, it floated up, and I was planting them individually, and I felt some of the roots, like I was pinching them with tweezers trying to get them in. They were like, I think they were like breaking. So it's still planted, and there's lots of fertilizer back there, and the little vitamin things we put in. So fingers crossed for Rotalia orange. Right, I'm gonna go eat my curry. Have a nice night, chaps. What's up, guys? Just woken up next to my new fish tank. And that is good vibes for waking up. Oh.